Hey guys, this is Kyle with Auditing with Autism. I wanted to throw my hat in the ring of what I think the definition for the word government means. Now, first, I want to say that I have heard other people mention that the word government means the control of the mind or ruling of the mind, because the etymology of the word government means govern, and meant. So govern originally means as a regulator, like you might have a governor on a carburetor that regulates the gas flow. And then mente, M-E-N-T, uh, is classically means mind. So they're right in thinking that the word government is controlling the mind. But I wanted to throw my hat in the ring and suggest that it could mean something much less nefarious. I think originally the word government was meant in its sense of regulating thoughts, so that when people come together in a society, and everybody brings their individual opinion about that, uh, about their opinion in their society, then all those thoughts have to be or need to be regulated in a way that will allow for consensus. The goal here is consensus so that we can have critical thinking minds, using their ability of reason to come up with their opinion. And so when everybody has that opinion and they throw their opinion, in the ring, then there's going to be so many opinions that they're going to need to be regulated. And so when we as a society allow regulation of our thoughts, we are doing that on purpose as a way to control the situation so that we don't have breakaway factions that may end up trying to hurt us. And I think we're seeing some of that today in this, world that we're living in. People who have the most money and power are breakaway factions that are using money and power to actually control us and control our mind as if they were a government. But originally, government was much more benign and beneficial in the sense that it was just a place where people can have their critically minded opinions put through the regulation of the community. And that means the community has to already have an idea of what they want to see, and that's like, for example, the United States of America. We set up this country under the belief of basically what the Ten Commandments say in the Bible, and that boiled down to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so we as a community agreed that that's that's how we want to be regulated. We want to be regulated towards the idea of the Ten Commandments. It sounds a little churchy to say it that way, but that's what they did. These were religious men and women that founded their wives. They'd go home and get the opinion of their wives. These people were very religious and even spiritual, so that it eventually led to them wanting to create a whole community called this country that would be regulated thought centered around these Ten Commandments, I guess, And the Ten Commandments, I know sounds so churchy to even talk about it like that, but when you look at the Ten Commandments, it's basically just a dogma or rule of how to live a life in a society. And it's pretty good. Don't murder, don't steal, don't covet, don't lie, don't cheat. I mean, maybe think about a higher power. I don't see how anybody could complain about the Ten Commandments as a basis for a community. But we regulated our thoughts centered around that idea of those commandments. And so if another society wanted to regulate their thoughts around this, the idea of, let's say, rock and roll and, drugs, then they would have a government that would help them direct their thought towards those things. I don't know why I use that. I guess drugs and rock and roll are such a cliche, but, a lot of people, like those things and consider those things to be part of the value of freedom. And so I threw it in there. Anyway, that's how I think about government, and I understand it could also be, you know, government is a word that can be used that could be controlling people's mind. You know, I mean, it's not a untrue statement to say that rulers who use government are not, or that they are controlling people's minds. I mean, certainly they are in some respects, but at its core, the word government is a regulator of thought, and that's not a bad thing. You know, that's regulating thought leads to a direction that the community has already decided that they want to do. So that's what I think government is. Thanks for taking a look.